Hey guys, LevelCap here and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. Before we get into the main story, I just want to recap this week's Battlefield 5 update quickly. DICE has launched the first DLC for Battlefield 5 called OVERTURE. It adds the Panzerstorm multiplayer map, a VGO medium machine gun, a new war story called The Last Tiger, and launches the Tides of War challenges. All players have access to the new content. Along with OVERTURE's launch, DICE also tweaked the balance of several weapons. The Medic's SMGs have seen a pretty significant buff, making them far more palatable in close quarter combat, but they still can't really compete at medium ranges as effectively as assault rifles, LMGs, or some of the self-loading rifles. The Panzerfaust rocket launcher now does more minimum damage and less maximum damage per shot to tanks, and the KE-7 received a minor nerf to make it less dominant. Ray tracing also got a big performance bump thanks to fixes for some bugs. Players can expect up to 50% more FPS depending on what their hardware settings are. OVERTURE is a decent first content update for Battlefield 5, but they still have a long ways to go before the game really feels fleshed out. More weapons and cosmetics will be added to the game in the coming weeks as part of the sequential release structure. People that own either Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 4 can currently get Battlefield 5 for 50% off on Xbox One. Nothing has been said about the PC or PS4 versions yet. Following 2 years of leaks and speculation, Valve have finally launched their take on Battle Royale for CSGO. Called Danger Zone, up to 18 players can scavenge for money and items scattered across a densely packed map. That money can then be used to call in better weapons and items via drone delivery. The rough location of all players is visible on the map as a yellow hexagon. Scattered throughout the map are crates that randomly unlock to reveal a turret guarding a valuable item. In true CSGO style, gunfights are quick, with most players dying in a few shots. The AK-47 still seems to reign supreme as one of the most formidable weapons in the game. Getting one puts you at a massive advantage. Valve has clearly put a lot of time and resources into designing Danger Zone. While it might be up to the same visual standards as Blackout or Fortnite, its simple design and color palette makes spotting enemies much easier. Danger Zone overall is a unique take on the Battle Royale concept. It pairs tactical gameplay with a chaotic race to the top spot. The Danger Zone update isn't all that's new for CSGO. Valve have also made the game free to play. A free-to-play version of CSGO has been available since the most recent Face It Major in London, but it was limited to offline play and viewing live events. CSGO is now entirely free to play. The entire game, from competitive matchmaking to weapon skins, is free for everyone. Players that bought the game before the update received a loyalty badge to reward them for paying. Some players are concerned going free to play will open the floodgates to cheaters. CSGO has a long and ugly history with cheaters, unfortunately. However, Valve has made massive strides this year with their various anti-cheat systems. Overall, this is shaping up to be basically the most significant update ever for Counter-Strike Go. The implications of this veteran shooter going free to play are insane. CSGO is already one of the most popular shooters in the world. Its esports scene is arguably bigger than any other game. Now that it's free to play, there's no telling how much bigger it can get. The Game Awards on Thursday night let loose a host of announcements. First up is PUBG's new map. Called Vikendi, it's a 6x6 kilometer winter map covered in a fresh coat of snow. PC players can test the map out in the game's technical test server right now. Gameplay elements unique to the map include players leaving footprints in the snow and more slippery vehicle handling. Two-person snowmobiles are scattered throughout the map and offer superior handling. The G36C was added as a new weapon exclusive to Vikendi. It's an assault rifle that fires 5.56 ammo and has a 30-round magazine that can be extended up to 40 rounds. A replay editor has been added that gives players more creative control over how replays are presented. Parachuting is getting a full overhaul on the 10th. It'll give players control over their descent and allow you to cut the parachute away while falling. A new trailer for Anthem has also debuted at the Game Awards. It gives us our first look at the game's story, and I'd forgive you if you mistook it for a Destiny 2 expansion. Basically, a big bad guy in a suit of armor is trying to take control of a powerful thing that floats in the sky. Unlike Destiny, however, it seems like the developers have put a lot more thought and care into the game's world and backstory. A closed alpha is currently running for alpha on all platforms. Unfortunately, it's strictly under NDA, so don't expect any gameplay or reviews from my channel, but I have a feeling that something's gonna leak. Ubisoft announced Far Cry New Dawn, a direct sequel to Far Cry 5 that takes place 17 years after the events of the game. Like Far Cry Primal, New Dawn is an in-between Far Cry game that repurposes the prior game's map. Many of the gameplay elements from Far Cry 5, like guns for hire and outpost battles, return in New Dawn. Priced at $50, it releases on February 15th. The developers of Fallout New Vegas, Obsidian Entertainment, revealed their new game at the TGAs. Called The Outer Worlds, it looks like Mass Effect meets Fallout. Players will find themselves on an alien world that's been colonized by humans. Exact gameplay details are pretty scarce, but we do know players will have a variety of guns and melee weapons at their disposal. Footage of spaceships landing and taking off from planets are shown prominently throughout the trailer, so maybe vehicle combat and exploration will also be possible. STARBREEZE Studio, located in Stockholm, Sweden, had their offices raided this week by local police in connection with insider trading charges. The company's stock recently nosedived following multiple big-name titles by the studio flopping, including Overkill's The Walking Dead. One arrest was made as part of the raid. STARBREEZE recently filed for administration, which temporarily suspends their debts while they work with the court to rework their finances. Fortnite developer Epic Games has launched their own game store. Going with the very creative title, the Epic Game Store, it offers developers an 88% revenue share and is intended to compete with Steam directly. Some notable first titles on the platform include Darksiders 3, Journey, Subnautica, and Super Meat Boy. Epic have also confirmed Unreal Tournament is no longer in active development. The classic arena shooter was released in late 2014 as an openly developed crowdsourced title, meaning anyone making assets or content for the Unreal Store could have their content added to the game. Its last update was in July 2017. The game is free to play and will remain online for the foreseeable future. The winter-themed Season 7 update for Fortnite is here. It launches alongside the recent Creative Mode update and brings a ton of new content to the game. Several areas of the map have been reworked and a new snow biome is now a playable area. Players can launch the X4 Stormwing plane, which has 5 seats, to quickly get around the map. Creative Mode lets players build new environments and game modes on their own private island. Fallout 76 just seems to keep digging itself into a deeper and deeper hole. To deal with complaints about gamers' Power Armor Edition, Bethesda set up a submission form players could fill out to get a replacement for the bag included with the package. The bad news is that a technical error sent the form data of everyone using it to several players. The data included full names, email addresses, credit card numbers, and more. The issue was quickly fixed, but there's no telling what kind of damage has been done. Red Dead Online got a major economy update. Players were frustrated by the massive grind required to level up and buy new items, which seemed to push players towards microtransactions that would reduce the grind. Rockstar has since updated the game so missions and activities give out more money when completed. They also lowered the price of most weapons and rebalanced the cost of other items. Prey is getting multiplayer DLC. Called TYPHON Hunter, it's a 1v5 prop hunt style mode. One of the players is human with the rest being mimics. It's the human's job to hunt down all the mimics, who can take the form of nearby objects before the timer runs out. The DLC launches on the 11th and is free to players that bought the Moon Crash DLC. Former developers who worked on Halo 5's Warzone mode recently formed a new studio called Midwinter Entertainment. They more publicly announced their first game at the TGAs, called SCAVANGERS. It's a co-op survival shooter with PvE and PvP elements, similar to Hunt Showdown. Details beyond that are very scarce. All we know for sure is it's team-based, will have multiple character classes, and potentially includes environmental puzzles. Rage 2 finally has a release date. The post-apocalyptic FPS launches on May 14th, 2019. The date was revealed in a new trailer for the game that showcases new weapons and car races. Activision is now selling a discounted version of Black Ops 4 on PC. Called the Battle Edition, it excludes zombies and costs $30. Rumors have suggested the game's Battle Royale mode, Blackout, would eventually be available as a standalone purchase, but this might be as close as we ever get to that. Black Ops 3 had a multiplayer-only discount version as well, but had certain restrictions like a lower level cap and limited access to cosmetic items. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought were the most interesting stories down below, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.